Welcome to episode 14 of the K&A Football Podcast. This week we're doing our pick'ems for week 4. Wow, we're already 4 weeks in. Already a quarter done with the year. It's sad to say. So obviously, as always, our picks are guaranteed to be 100% correct, especially mine and definitely not Caden's. Welcome to episode 14. All right, Caden, week 4 is officially upon us as of last night. So before we get into our picks for the week, let's talk about the Thursday night game really briefly.
Yeah. Obviously, big game. A lot of hype going up to it. Supposed to be super high scoring, a lot of action. And then, I'm sure most have heard, Tua suffered one of the scariest thing that I've ever seen in a football game. Like, when I saw this injury, I was shook. If you didn't see or don't know what we're talking about, last week Tua suffered a really bad hit. He hit the ground, and he stood up to go back, and he wobbled and fell. And he got back up, and he wobbled and fell again. Like, clearly he's messed up.
Yeah.
And so he went out, and then a couple drives later, he came back in. Clearly he wasn't okay. But then it came out that the Dolphins were just saying that it was a shoulder injury that he had. So he didn't have to go through any concussion protocols. Like, he just hurt his shoulder. And so he came back in then. Ended up winning them the game. But then all week, they're like, I don't know, like, all the media is like, should they start Tua this week? Should they not start Tua this week? Clearly, he's dealing with all these injuries. Plus a back and an ankle injury. So he was just hobbled on everything.
Yeah.
And then he got hit pretty hard last night and hit the ground. And then he just went into like I don't even know what you want to call it.
Yeah, his hands went all weird. They started, like, going crazy, which the announcers were saying is a neurological response to some crazy brain trauma. So, then he was carted off the field. He went to the University of Cincinnati's medical center, and he didn't play the rest of the game.
Oh, thankfully.
Thank goodness the Dolphins didn't bring him back in. But he was carted off. He didn't play the rest of the game. Dolphins ended up losing. And now it's like questionable on when he'll return, because obviously that's a pretty big injury. Like, it's not just a concussion. Now you have a concussion and whatever he did last night. And, who knows when he'll play again, if ever.
Right. Like, my first instinct when I saw that, first of all, my jaw just dropped and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, and then my gut reaction was like, he's like paralyzed or having like
Ryan Shazier
that's exactly.
Type stuff, yeah.
Ryan Shazier against the Bengals, like exact same thing. And I was like, this is like I was shook. I was like, this is, but I was really happy to see that he's out of the hospital now. He traveled back with the team to Miami, but I don't think we'll see him anytime soon. Hopefully not anytime soon.
Hopefully we won't see him.
There's definitely an investigation about to begin with the Dolphins, with their handlement.
Yeah,
the way they handled
of
the Tua injuries and the concussions and playing him this week.
Yeah, as there should be.
Right.
The Dolphins could be in a world of trouble on top of all their legal issues with tampering with the integrity of the game during the offseason and all the stuff with Tom Brady and Sean Payton, and now potentially losing their quarterback, and investigation's going to ensue. So we'll see what happens.
Right. I think that they're obviously not going to be as good as they were, but Teddy Bridgewater is a serviceable backup QB.
Right.
So they might be able to still win some games.
Yeah. Dolphins took the loss on that one, which means I took the loss on that one. And the Bengals have officially cured their losing drought and are now 2-2.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into the picks for this week. Sue Ellen, because Debbie's out.
All right, we just talked about
that one.
So we'll move to the next game.
Oh, this is the London game.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Vikings at technically the home team is the
Right.
Saints, but it's in London, so
not really home
game. Early Sunday morning game.
Yeah, this one's at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I love these games.
Yeah, obviously we'll miss it because
church.
But, it's always interesting having the London games. It's always cool kind of seeing the Brits sell out.
For
NFL games.
For a pointless game. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, normally they send over like our 2 worst teams, but this one should be good. Who do you got for this one?
All right. The Saints have a lot of people out.
Yep.
Jameis Winston questionable, or not questionable, doubtful,
Yeah, which is way worse.
which is worse than questionable. He's not going to play. Michael Thomas, out.
Mm-hmm.
Kamara, questionable. Like a lot, their star players are all not going to play. The Vikings are a solid team. I mean, they're showing that they can win games. Saints, they struggled last week against the Panthers, who, I mean, if you're losing to Matt Rule, you're not doing something right. So I don't think this is going to be a contest because of all the Saints injuries. I think if the Saints have all their players healthy, it'll be a good game, but I think the Vikings will win this one.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't see. I say this almost every week with at least one team, but I don't see how the Saints walk away with this one. Who even is their backup quarterback?
Andy Dalton.
Oh, yeah, they're going to lose. Yeah, the Vikings are going to take this one. The only doubt that I could have in my mind is Kirk Cousins doesn't play well on Monday nights. Could he also play not well in England at 9:30 in the morning?
Yeah, it's Sunday mornings.
So who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I got the Vikings for this one. I think the better team overall.
Dalvin Cook is out in this game, but I don't think it'll matter too much.
It won't matter that much.
They got Justin Jefferson. I think he alone will be able to.
Yeah, and I have him on fantasy, so hopefully that means more targets for him.
Yeah. Tua, fantasy this week is kind of like, in one of my leagues, I'm kind of just like scrapping that for the week because I had Tua.
Yeah.
And, but it's all right. I still got my other league.
Got multiple other leagues.
Next game.
All right, the football team. Did you organize this, right? You made this slideshow? Yeah. This is football team at?
Yes. All of them are at.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so the first team is away, second team is at. Yeah.
Man, you're good at this.
Yeah, don't even.
You're good at this.
I'm smart.
All right, football team at Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys on this one. Cooper Rush hasn't looked bad. Somehow he is one of the remaining undefeated quarterbacks, which is crazy to say.
He's only played in 2 games, though. But yeah, you're right.
Right. But, still. That's better than I would expect for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys on this one. They beat the Giants on Monday night. I thought the Giants would win. They didn't. Cowboys ended up taking that one, and I think that they're way better than the football team will be in the foreseeable future.
Yeah. The football team last week, their offensive line just got decimated by the Eagles.
Yeah,
I think,
for sure. Yeah.
Like literally 2.5-minute sack compilation for the Eagles. Like, that's not very good. And I think Micah Parsons can easily just replicate that by himself.
Yeah.
And he'll just get through every time. But for some reason, my gut, my gut's saying Washington, like, they haven't looked bad this season.
They haven't looked bad.
Aside from last game, they've looked good. Like, they put up so many points in their first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And their defense it's there. They got a defense. They're on the field. They're not doing anything, but they're on the field. And they're going up against Cooper Rush, who, he's 2-0, but he's a backup quarterback. And his 2 wins are against the Giants, who, they're 2-1, but still the Giants. And then the Bengals, who they played them when they were in their really, like, they're sliding, like when they were struggling. So I think that the Washington's going to pull this out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just a gut feeling. And clearly I just got to go with my gut because I picked my gut for the Eagles, or the Bengals and the Steelers and all these games. So
gut continuously pays off, and I keep on falling further and further down in my chance to win. Okay, your gut better only say one thing on this one.
No, this is a very hard game for me to pick.
This is a hard game for you to pick.
Yes,
oh my gosh, his gut goes crazy. No, okay, this is Seahawks at Lions. I don't know how this one's hard for you to pick, man. I think the Lions have this in a landslide.
Yeah, I see it. Like, obviously, right away I see this. I'm like, Lions, move on. But DeAndre Swift isn't playing. Neither is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's true.
Does that change anything for you?
Not really.
It doesn't change much for me, but it gives me a little more thought. I think the Lions are still a better team. They got a better quarterback, in my opinion. And their skill positions are not as good now with all their injuries, but I still think that they're just a better team. I think their coach is great, and it's in Detroit. I think the Lions will win, but I had to give it some thought with some of the injuries. If they're fully healthy, Detroit kills them. But I still think the Lions will win. But
that's fair, but yeah.
But I gave this one a lot of thought today.
All right, this one actually is interesting. Titans at Colts. Titans do not look very good. The Colts have looked worse than the Titans. But they did end up beating the Chiefs, which gives you some pause as to, okay, are they back and are they for real? Or was that kind of a fluke game? What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Obviously, Colts, like you just said, beat the Chiefs last week. Everyone's like, are they back? Like, are they the Colts that we all expected them to be? Like,
Yeah.
are they there? Are they that team now? And then the Titans, they started 0-2, and then they beat the Raiders last week, and they're like, okay, maybe they're getting it together. So, two teams that started pretty slow and with high expectations and are now maybe on the rise. I think the Colts have the better roster. They have a great running back. I mean, so do the Titans, but so the running backs are pretty even. But I think they have way better receivers and a way better defense and a better quarterback. I think the Colts will win this one.
I do too. I think the Colts are taking this one. Again, it does give me some pause with how bad they've played
Right.
in previous weeks. But like I was with the Dolphins, like I wasn't high on the Dolphins until they proved to me that they were good. I'm not high on the Colts at all, but they haven't quite proved to me that they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
They got killed 24-0 to the Jags, but it looked awful at the time, but the Jags are looking respectable now. Like, they just killed the Chargers.
Right.
I mean, it sucks to lose 24-0, but that's a decent team.
Right. Like, when you lose to the Jags the other week, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, they just lost to the Jags. But then when the Jags come and do that to the Chargers, it doesn't look so bad. Now it looks like, okay, well, at least they didn't get blown up like the Chargers did.
Right.
So are they better than the Chargers? So that's why I'm going to pick the Colts.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good game, but I'm excited for this one. It could be it's a big game for the AFC South.
For sure.
Okay, this one's actually Bears at Giants.
Oh, wow.
I put the Giants on the blue. It was so hard to see, so I was like, okay, for this only game, I'm going to switch it. So it's Bears at Giants.
Bears at Giants. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good call on your part. Good audible there. Yeah. So Bears at Giants.
Yeah.
That does change things a little bit, for me at least. I don't know, man. The Giants look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. They were obviously undefeated until Monday night, which they haven't done since 2016. So I'm actually gonna take the Bears on this one because I think that Justin Fields is the better quarterback out of the two. The Bears aren't necessarily good, but I think that when it comes down to just the quarterback and the mobility of that position that they're going to need, I think the Bears are going to take it.
Yeah. I mean, love Justin Fields. He's my I think I say every single week. Justin Fields is like my favorite player. But the Giants' offensive line is bad, and so is the Bears. And Daniel Jones was running for his life like all game last week against the Cowboys, who have a really good pass rush with Micah Parsons and the rest of their D-line. I don't know. But if they can be in that game with the Cowboys with that good of a D-line, the Bears have an awful D-line. I think that they can manage against the Bears. I think that they do have... I think the quarterbacks are pretty even as much as I love Justin Fields. I think Daniel Jones is better than what people give him credit for. I think he's really surprised me this year. And David Montgomery is out for the Bears. Saquon's healthy for the Giants, and he's looked great this year. So I think the Giants are going to win this. And it's in New York.
I can see that. I can see it happening.
So,
Austin, you said Bears.
I did say Bears.
So I mean, I could see this going either way. I mean, I hope the Bears win. I love Justin Fields getting wins. I've heard a lot about, oh, he's not good. Like, the Bears are awful. But, like, you can say what you want, but they're 2-1. And if he just keeps getting wins, I mean,
yeah,
he's getting wins. It's kind of what matters in the NFL.
Yeah.
Fix your hoodie strings.
My hoodie strings? You want me to fix my hoodie strings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the Giants happening. I'm not going to completely disagree with you. I can see it happening. I just think the Bears are going to pull it out.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah.
My hoodie strings better now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, Sue Ellen was
Dude, it just like goes up.
crying
I
about
don't really know. Whatever. All right.
Yeah, it will be fine. All right, Caden. Jags at Eagles.
You know, I gave this game thought. Like,
Oh.
probably too much thought than it deserved. You know, the Jags have looked great this season with their new head coach. Like, literally night and day between Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson. Like,
For sure.
they look like a phenomenal team. They killed the Jags. They killed the Colts. Who did they play week one? And they lost a close one to the
football team.
football team. And then the Eagles, on the other hand, have just looked insanely dominant. Like, who's going to beat them? I don't know. So I give this one a lot of thought. Probably more thought than I should have. I'm going to pick the Eagles. I think that they just got the better quarterback at this point in time. They got the better weapons by a long shot, and their defense is just out of this world. I think the Jags are a good team. Like, I'm surprised that I'm saying that, but I think the Jags are a good team. But I think the Eagles have too much like star power, and that they'll win this. Plus, it's in Philly. Philly fans are just wild, and now they're incredible, so they're going to show out.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to ridicule you for giving this one thought, because that's why I kind of tossed it over to you, because, yeah, I mean, the Jags look good. They beat the Chargers soundly, which obviously was very shocking to everyone. And if that wasn't a fluke, which it doesn't look like it was, they look kind of for real, which is kind of scary to say, because going into this season, I don't think anyone would have thought they would say that at any point this year or in the next 3 years. So I think they look good. Like, credit to the Jaguars for what they've been able to pull out this year so far. But I'm going to still stick with the Eagles. Obviously, they are undefeated, and they're undefeated for a reason.
Yeah, they've played good teams.
Yeah, they've played good teams too. It's not like they've played a bunch of nobodies. So I'm going to go with Philly on this one.
Yeah, I think if the Jaguars lose this game, you're going to hear a lot of like, oh, the Jaguars were just a fluke. They're not actually good. But I don't think that's true at all. The Eagles are just a great team, and that they can handle business.
Yeah.
The Jags are still a good team, but they're just going up against a team that they're great. The Jags are good, but I don't think that they're contenders yet. The Eagles, they can contend for a Super Bowl this year.
For sure. All right.
When I made this slideshow, I was like, man, this is really funny. It's just 2 circles.
Well, one's more of like a football-ish shape.
It just looks so weird. Like, I was doing this while watching the game last night, and I was like, this looks so weird to me. But Jets at Steelers.
Jets at Steelers. You know, I really want the Steelers to lose this one. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted the Bengals to lose last night. The Browns obviously were at the top of the division. So I wanted the Bengals to lose last night. I want the Steelers to lose this week. But I don't think it's gonna happen against the Jet squad. Now, Zach Wilson,
he's back.
Will be back. So who knows if that changes anything? Maybe they'll look worse. I don't know. How good is Zach Wilson? I'm gonna take the Steelers on this one. Zach Wilson obviously hasn't played since what? Last year?
Yeah. I mean, he played a little bit in the preseason.
Played a little bit of preseason, but what does that really do? So he hasn't played in a while. Got to work out the rust a little bit. And the Jets just, I don't think, are very good. I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. They aren't much better, but I think that Mike Tomlin can make anything happen.
Yeah. Who's starting this game for the Steelers? Don't answer. That was a rhetorical question. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Mitch Trubisky. Well, I'm going to answer it.
Don't answer. Okay, I'm going to answer.
Okay. Mitch Trubisky is starting this for the Steelers. And Mitch Trubisky, I might have given him some praise during the offseason, thinking like he can do it. He did it with the Bears. He can do it with a better roster in the Steelers. But boy, was I wrong. He is really bad. Like, man, the sooner that they start Kenny Pickett, the better the Steelers will be. He might not be great, but he's an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky. And as long as Mitch Trubisky's starting, I don't see how Steelers are going to win games, especially with TJ Watt out. He can't create offense on defense for them.
Yeah.
Plus, Zach Wilson's coming back, which if you can beat the Browns with Joe Flacco, you can beat the Steelers with Zach Wilson. That's how I see it. Like, I really don't see how Zach Wilson wouldn't be an upgrade over Joe Flacco, and if Joe Flacco beat the Browns. The Steelers are really bad. Mitch Trubisky is really bad in my eyes. And I think Zach Wilson's, he's not great, but still better than Mitch Trubisky. I don't see the Steelers team doing anything. Like, they threw 4 passes inside, like, towards the middle of the field. All their other passes were to the side. Like, that's just awful game plan. The defense knows exactly what you're going to do. And Mitch Trubisky's missing throws like crazy. He's making his receivers go and, like, contort their body in, like, 8 different ways to just catch the ball. So,
yeah, I can see that for sure. I can see the Jets winning it. I follow your logic. The only pushback I would give is I wouldn't say the Jets beat the Browns because they didn't. The Jets didn't play well. They didn't like make it a game. The Browns made it a game. The Browns beat themselves.
I mean, Joe Flacco made the plays he needed to score 2 touchdowns.
That's true, but it's not like Joe Flacco consistently throughout the game like played well. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Obviously, like you said, without TJ Watt, the Steelers' defense is basically non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens. I'm still sticking with the Steelers.
Oh, you skipped
You
one.
skipped one.
Oh, good one. Good. The good thing you didn't skip this one.
Good thing you
This
didn't
is
skip
kinda
this one.
big.
This one's going to be good. It's going to be a good game. This is in Baltimore, so we're not going to be dealing with, 10,000 degree heat and 400% humidity in Miami, like the Bills had to deal with last week.
Right. Yeah.
So if you couldn't decipher from that, it's Bills at Ravens. I realized I didn't say that, and I was like, oh, people might not know what I'm talking about. So Bills at Ravens. I'm gonna toss this one over to you. Who do you got for this one?
Yeah. So I mean, Ravens. They've looked pretty good. They won a close one last week, which I don't think it should have been a close one against the Patriots.
Yeah, I was like, wait, why can't I
Who
think
did
of
they
who
play?
they're
Yeah,
playing?
they played the Patriots, and then they choked a bad game against the Dolphins, Dolphins are a good team, and then they beat the Jets week 1. So they don't have any like super impressive wins. All their wins have been close, and the Bills obviously have impressive wins. They killed the Rams, killed the Titans, and then lost
a close one.
very close one against the Dolphins, who ended up beating the Ravens. I'm not saying, the Ravens beat the Dolphins.
Right, this isn't college
No,
football. Where
I'm
you
not
can base
saying-
off of that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying the Dolphins beat the Ravens by this many and they beat the Bills by this many. That means that, no, that's stupid. It's football. Anything can happen. But I think the Bills are the better team. 2 amazing quarterbacks, but Josh Allen's weapons are just miles better, in my opinion. And their defense is just phenomenal. I think that the Bills will want a lot of, to fix what happened last week. They had a lot of hopes for going undefeated.
Yeah,
And I'm sure that was a distraction, even though it's only been 2 weeks. They're like, we're going undefeated this season. And then it's like, reality check. We're not. Let's play football like we're supposed to and just do what we're supposed to do. I think the Bills will win.
Yeah, I agree. The Bills, I think, should have won that game in Miami if it wasn't so hot, if it wasn't so humid. Obviously, that makes
If
players...
Tua didn't come back in.
If Tua didn't come back in, right. Obviously, the heat, the humidity causes players to get fatigued, dehydrated, injured way easier. So Stephon Diggs, obviously, didn't finish the game, which I think if he was in, they probably would have done a lot better. And then just at the end, they kind of squandered that last play. In my opinion, we already talked about that.
Go
But
back to
I think
last
that
week's episode.
I think the Bills are the better team. Obviously, Lamar can make anything happen with his legs, but I think the Bills are going to take this one.
I think it'll be a good game, surprisingly close. I think a lot of people are like, Bills are going to run away with it, even though it's 2 good teams. I think it'll be pretty close. I think it'll be high scoring, but I think the Bills will make a couple more plays to win the game.
I agree with that. All right, Chargers at Texans.
All right, new slide. Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
I'm just kidding. You want to talk about this one first?
Sure. I mean, look, guys. The Texans are not good, and the Chargers are good. So that's the long and short of it. The Chargers obviously are just the better team. They have a better running back, receivers, better defense, better quarterback, and the Texans have Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
Yeah, they have Davis Mills. So,
Yeah. I mean, Justin Herbert, his rib is getting better 1 week, an extra week since that injury. So I'm sure he's just getting better and better. I mean, he's a great quarterback, better than literally anyone on that franchise, on the Texans franchise. I don't see how this is a game at all. Granted, we said that last week against the Jags, but
yeah, that's true. We did say that, but I don't.
Jags clearly are a good team. They had potential. The Texans' potential is
the Texans
potential is
at the 50 in overtime
because they know that
the tie is the best they can get.
The best the Texans can do this year is get the number 1 pick and draft
CJ Stroud.
Whatever.
Waste of a pick for CJ.
Yeah, we're mixed. We're mixed on CJ Stroud, but
draft Njigba. He'd turn the franchise around for sure. He'll play every position.
But yeah, I mean, Chargers probably gonna blow them out.
Probably. All right, this is New England at Green Bay. Well, what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I say it every week. I don't know how New England is in these games. Their skill positions are just so bad. Their defense is all right, but Mac Jones is highly overrated in my opinion. I don't understand how people think he's good. I just don't get it. But maybe that's just me. But now Mac Jones isn't going to play this game.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for a couple weeks. Brian Hoyer, the ex of Brown, is going to be playing this game. And Brian Hoyer is unfortunately for the Patriots, Brian Hoyer is not very good. So, and they're going up against the quarterback and Aaron Rodgers, who, last I checked, is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good.
He's got a couple MVPs pretty recently, I think.
Yeah, he's got one or two under his belt.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think the Packers will be fine. I think the Packers will win this one. Their running game and defense is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, the running game is probably going to run all over the Patriots like they have over everyone else.
Hopefully. I got Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, never mind. Well, I'm not playing you this week, so it doesn't matter. You can run everywhere. The Packers defense obviously is really good. And Aaron Rodgers can make anything happen. So I think the Packers got this one pretty solidly. I don't think the Patriots stand really that much of a chance.
Yeah. Even if they had Mac Jones,
it
could be even more of a blowout because just Mac Jones is just that highly overrated in my opinion.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think he's a good quarterback at all. I really don't see it.
I think he's solid. I don't think he's fantastic.
You never see Mac Jones making some great throw down the field. He throws a lot of short check downs and his receivers just take it and run. Any quarterback can do that. You know?
I think he's solid. I think he does well. I mean, he's not fantastic. He's obviously not Aaron Rodgers level, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. He's not on that caliber at all, but I think he's good. He's better than a lot of quarterbacks in the league.
We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. His injury proneness this season isn't looking too good.
You said Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah.
Yeah, we both did.
All right. I see you didn't decide to put the Cardinals on the blue for this one.
It's in Carolina.
Yeah, I know, but you had switched the Giants.
Oh, well, because you can read
side.
that. The Giants one, it was literally the exact same color, so you could not. It literally looked like Bears versus blue.
The blue.
But no, you can see that.
All right, so this is Cardinals in Carolina at Panthers. I'm not going to lie. This one's difficult for me because I don't think that the Panthers are good.
Me neither.
I don't think the Panthers are good. I don't think the Panthers deserve to win another game. I don't think they will win another game. But Cliff Kingsbury is probably one of the worst head coaches that has ever existed in the NFL, other than whoever the Broncos have right now.
Or us.
Or you guys. Matt Rule is also bad.
The battle of the head coaches.
Battle of the bad head coaches. That's true. I mean, the Cardinals have also not looked good at all. This is really difficult because it's
one quarter out of the season they've done good.
Yeah, one quarter they looked good, and that was their comeback.
Yeah,
it's literally just which team will play worse, and that will be your loser. It won't be which team plays better, which team plays worse, and that will be your loser. And I think that the Cardinals will play worse. I think the Panthers are going to win, which is weird for me to say. I think the Panthers are going to win this one.
That's hype.
I don't think Caden's picking the Panthers.
No, I am.
Oh, he is. Okay.
I gotta roll with it. I picked them every week, and I probably will until they play a good team. But like Austin said, Cardinals, they got just as many issues as we do.
Yeah.
Most of it's coaching. I mean, the receiving core is really decimated. D-Hop's been out all year, and now today the injury reports came out. Marquise Brown questionable. Rondell Moore questionable. I think that's it. But that's their two best receivers. If they don't play, then who's Kyler Murray gonna throw the ball to?
Kyler Murray's just gonna scramble for 86 yards on every play.
Okay, here's the other thing. We have a really good defense. Cardinals don't. I believe our defense can easily stop their offense. Our defense is super good. Showed it last week against the Saints.
Yeah.
Cardinals defense not great. Our offense also not great. But I mean, two pretty mid 11-on-11s going at each other. So I think every now and then we can score, but every now and then if we can score, that could be enough to win the way our defense has been playing lately. And the Cardinals' defensive line, horrible, atrocious this season. And our strength on offense has been running the ball. I mean, just run it with McCaffrey and then boom.
Yeah. Emphasis on 11-on-11, by the way, because Matt Rule doesn't know how to substitute players.
Seriously. Hopefully Laviska Shenault plays. He is questionable for the game. If he doesn't play, that would really stink after, his great game last week. And also McCaffrey is questionable, but he's kind of listed as questionable every week. So I don't think it really matters. He'll play.
The Panthers are just oh, man, Christian McCaffrey slept this morning. He's probably questionable. They know he's injury prone.
He was in the bathroom during our team meeting.
Questionable, man. Stubbed his toe. He's out. All right, another battle of the bad teams, which it should be battle of great teams
It should be.
because this division should be loaded. But somehow they have the Broncos, who their fans have to chant the play clock so they don't get delay of game penalties. And the Raiders are 0-3, which is absolutely shocking. So, Caden, which team is going to walk away with this one?
Yeah. Raiders, yeah, they're 0-3, but they've played good teams every week. They haven't played some bad teams. They played the Chargers, and they played the Titans,
They play the Titans.
and they played the
Cardinals.
Cardinals. So pretty solid teams. I mean, they haven't played
Yeah.
like the Jets. And the Broncos have played the Seahawks. Not very good. The Niners, not very good. And the Texans, not very good.
And they're 2-1.
And they're 2-1. Barely.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't looked good in any game. Granted, neither of the Raiders, but I think the way that this Broncos offense is just playing, I don't see a way that they can like just consistently win games against decent teams. Like until Russell Wilson figures it out and gains more chemistry with the receivers, I think, and if they're playing a respectable team, that team will win. I think Derek Carr, he has consistency, like he has that what's the word I'm looking for? Connection. He has that connection with his receivers because he's been there. Well, Russell Wilson, this is only his fourth game. He clearly doesn't have that connection yet. So I think the Raiders will get their first win of the season. They're not a bad team. Like they're 0-3, but like, I mean, shouldn't be. I think this is a really like bizarre because it'll be the first time in a while that like we'll be going into week 5, and I don't think we'll have a single 0-4 team, which is great.
Yeah, it's good for football.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think the Broncos are worse than the Raiders, despite what the records may show. They punted, 9 times in their last game against the 49ers?
Yeah.
Like, that's really bad.
Devontae Adams needs to step it up for the Raiders.
For sure. Like, I mean, it's kind of like, who was the better person on that Green Bay squad? Was it Aaron Rodgers that got him the ball, or was it Devontae Adams running the routes? So far, it's looking like Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. But yeah, if Devontae Adams can step it up even just a little bit, that obviously will help the Raiders a lot. I think the Raiders are the better team compared to the Broncos. Eli Manning said the other week that Broncos should have paid their punter the $230 million that they paid Russell Wilson, which I thought was pretty funny and also kind of true. Yeah, I think the Raiders have this one. And like you said, then we'll be going into week 5 with no winless teams, which is obviously good. Makes me a little bit sad as a Browns fan because I like when teams win no games. That makes me a little bit happy inside. But I think the Raiders are going to take this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick. We go back. Did we pass the Browns game? 'Cause I don't think we called that one, did we?
No, we didn't. Where was it at?
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there it is. There it
We
is.
must have skipped it. We're good.
Must have accidentally skipped it.
We're all right. It's okay. We don't have Debbie back here today.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Debbie wouldn't have made
rookie
that
mistake.
mistake.
I mean,
It's okay. Sue, I'm
Okay.
still learning.
that's
you know?
okay. That's how you.
Every once in a while, the starting
That's how you get better.
right. Every once in a while, the starting QB is out, and the backup's got to be in.
That you guys were both picking the Browns.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sue, just assumed we're picking. The
Yeah, I
Browns.
mean, we can quickly go
fair
through
enough.
this one. I can see. I mean, Browns running backs can just dominate this game. I mean, they'll have the ball so much longer. Just run it, pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock.
Yeah.
Falcons defense isn't good. Neither is their offense. I mean, it's okay, but the Browns, I think the Browns will win this one pretty easily.
I do too. Hopefully, Kevin Stefanski realizes that Nick Chubb leads the league in rushing yards, and the duo leads the league in touchdowns. And so hopefully we don't throw the ball all that much because we don't need to.
Yeah.
Not that Jacoby Brissett can't throw the ball because obviously he's proven he can throw it pretty well when he needs to. But yeah, hopefully we just run the ball all game right down Atlanta's throat and win the game that way.
Yeah. All right, back to the Sunday night game.
Sunday night.
That's Monday. There we go.
Sunday night game. Chargers at Bucks.
No, Chiefs at Bucks.
Why did I say Chargers? Man, oh man.
Okay.
Chiefs at Bucks. Bro.
That's how you get better. Rookie mistakes.
Rookie mistake. It's the same division at least.
Yeah.
Still, that's on me. I'll take that. I take responsibility for those actions. This one's pretty easy for me. Not even gonna lie. The my Chargers. Oh my goodness, bro. What the heck was even that? Chiefs.
Good job.
The Chiefs offense has been electric. They've put up points, which is important to winning football games. They've put up a lot of points, which is also very important for winning football games. And in contrast, the Buccaneers have not put up points, but somehow won football games. The Buccaneers have scored like, what, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games?
It's awful.
Which is terrible.
I don't understand how they're winning games.
I don't either. It must, like, Tom Brady must just be paying the other teams at this point so that he can go out on top, because it's incredible how the Bucs are still winning these games despite only kicking field goals. So I think that the Chiefs are going to run over the Buccaneers.
It's bump.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can say the right team.
Chiefs. I said it right that time. Okay, the Chiefs are going to run over the Buccaneers. They'll score 8 bajillion points, and the Buccaneers will kick 17 field goals.
That would be the most high-scoring game ever. 8 bajillion points. But yeah, I don't see the Bucs offense just waking up anytime soon. I really have no idea what's going on with them. Tom Brady, maybe just age is finally catching up to him. And
yeah, maybe.
They just can't do it. Chiefs offense still looks great in Tampa with all the distractions this week with the hurricane.
Right.
I'm sure it's maybe discombobulated them a little bit. Chiefs kind of blow out.
Yeah, they are playing this one in Tampa.
It
too,
is in
aren't
Tampa,
they?
yeah.
They decided not to move the game.
Yeah.
All right. The Monday night game. The Rams at 49ers. Again, this is another game where I didn't have to give much thought to it.
Yeah.
I think the Rams have this one soundly. No disrespect to the 49ers. They look solid. I think they look better with Jimmy Garoppolo than they did with Trey Lance. Just my opinion, though. I think Jimmy Garoppolo's better. But I think the Rams are better. Obviously, the 49ers didn't look good last week against a struggling Broncos squad, which does give some hesitancy. But I think the Rams are just better. Obviously, their receivers and Cooper Kupp, fantastic. And their defense doesn't look too bad either. So I think they got this one soundly.
Yeah. 49ers have had the Rams number in the regular season the last couple of years, but I don't think it's going to be an issue this year. I think the Rams will be fine. They've struggled a little bit in some games, but I mean, they're still the reigning Super Bowl champs. They still got Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
They're a great team. And the Niners have struggled against like Denver last week, that was a very boring game.
Yeah.
I don't see a way that the Niners win this one either. I think the Rams will win this one.
Agreed.
We had a lot of similar picks. Which,
wow, we really did.
If we keep doing this every week, if I just pick pick the same picks as you every week, you know what that means?
It means that you'll just win.
That means that you'll just have to do the punishment, which,
by the way, I think we're posting this weekend.
Correct.
At some point.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need to still make the graphic for that, but, got some good punishments, so.
We do. Stay tuned.
Make sure
follow the Instagram.
Yeah. Follow the Instagram, KA_football. Make sure you are able to vote on that punishment. We're really looking forward to that one. Should be exciting.
Should be fun.
So, Sue Ellen, did we have the final look at our picks?
We do.
Oh, this is really organized well.
Yeah, good job, Sue Ellen. I'm going to give everyone go down and give Sue Ellen a round of applause.
So we only had...
How many did we disagree on?
2, 3.
We only disagreed on 3? 4? Man.
Yeah, man.
Man, oh man. We better get these right or we're going to look really dumb.
I know. Like, every week that we agree on one, I'm like, well, got that one wrong. Oh, got that one wrong.
I know. That's exactly what happens. But, hopefully I just get the 4 that we disagreed on right. And then it doesn't...
No, clearly you. You already got that one wrong. You already got the Thursday night game
So
wrong.
the 3 that we disagreed on, I'll get all those right, and then we'll slowly work our way back up that way. That's how we'll slowly close that gap that I've put myself in. I just need to put the shovel down first, so I stop digging that hole. But yeah, those are our picks. Obviously, as always, if you disagree with any, if you agree with any, make sure that you comment on the video if you're watching on YouTube. Go DM us on Instagram. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that, let us know what you think. Obviously, if you disagree with anything, tell us why we're wrong, which we're obviously not guaranteed 100% correct, like I always say.
Even though we have some different picks, still 100%.
Yeah, still 100% correct, always guaranteed. But yeah, thank you guys for watching episode 14, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you for watching another episode of K&A Football. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and you can listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
If you want to listen to our last video, click literally just click our page and go to it. You're already on the page. It's not that hard. Just go find it. Peace.